Everyone. It is Love Marlene 411, your channel for a podcast and very important topics on how we show our love for ourselves through trauma healing, just having the real conversations. So me and my co-host, Miss Nexie, which is not here yet, but she will be joining shortly. And we talk about very important topics. And if you're new to this channel, hit the like, subscribe to this channel. I have channel membership over here. It starts at 99 cents, as a way to support me as a content creator. And also, I have my Cash App. If you so choose to tip the host, you're more than welcome to. So today on the Sip and Chat, I'm going to be talking about when a woman emotionally detaches from her man. But before then, this is the Sip and Chat. So what are you sipping on? I have my drink. This is my this is my mother and my father's wedding glass. And I'm going to get my sip on. I'm about to open up my drink. What are you all sipping on today? I hope you're sipping on something good. I'm about to pour in my drink. Um, I'm going to let my co host ask me what I'm drinking. What do you think I'm drinking on today, guys? So now I have my drink there and it's available, and I'm going to start sipping on that in a little bit. But after that, if you guys are new here, welcome to subscribe to this channel. Today, we're going to be talking about when a woman emotionally detaches from her man. First off, this is not a channel. We're not bashing men over here. This is not a bashing session, but it is definitely it's definitely what you call it, it's definitely a channel that we empower not only women but also men, because this can go vice versa. But we talk about empowering one another over here. So first off, I want to say that this topic came to me because I was watching another content creator doing a reaction to someone who had put up with a very toxic relationship. Hey Robert, how are you doing? Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can. I can't. I was trying to see if I could make you a moderator. I don't know why it won't let me. Oh, there it goes. That just popped up. Okay, I'm going to make you a moderator. Um, One of the things that I think is important to say, this is not a male bashing type of channel or anything like that, but I'm just being real and honest. Okay. So, no problem, Robert. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to say this. When a woman emotionally detaches from her man, there's a lot of things that happen before all of that. Before a woman detaches from you emotionally, there are some things that has been happening in the background. Hey, Miss Jackie, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. um, when a woman makes a choice to emotionally detach from her man, there are some things that has been happening in the background. There are some things that has been happening for a while. This is not something that just, oh, a woman wakes up one day, they're in the relationship and everything, and then they just decide to detach. There are probably a lot of things that has happened that has been pretty disrespectful. There's been a lot of times where she's probably asked for so many things and has not gotten what she wanted out of the relationship. Now, every woman is different. I'm not saying this as a blanket statement that all women act this way, and vice versa. And not all men are toxic either. But I'm talking about maturity and accountability. And we always talk about how to get aside from toxic relationships. and not staying in an environment where we're not supported, in all aspects. If you're not being supported mentally, emotionally, financially. Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? Welcome. Everybody, please check out my awesome mods, that have channels, and show their channels some love. I have to say this as always. We always want to seek to have healthy and happy relationships. We always want to be secure in our relationship. And there are many times where we are in, a romantic relationship and we're not being supported. Our mental health has been compromised. We have been disrespected, taken advantage of, not treated in the right way like we should. And I'm going to be honest, from the very beginning, many times as women, we settle. We settle in the relationship that you have with your man, because in the beginning it all goes back to, what do you think about yourself as a woman? Are you empowered? Are you, secure in your womanhood? Do you respect yourself? Do you have enough courage to ask for the things that you want? And the reason why I start here for this conversation, because many times, ladies, let's be honest, we start off the relationship expecting for a man to fill in what we don't possess. And that's, being honest, ladies, let's be honest. Many times we are not showing up first for ourselves. We have not found out who we are. We have not healed from the past, from past relationships, from past trauma, from past whatever the issues are, or past our own healing that we need to have within ourselves. And that's just being, it takes a courageous, an honest, and a mature woman to be able to take ownership of, I need to step back for a little while. I need to step back as a woman and to heal some of the issues that I had, the traumas, maybe a difficult, relationship. If you've ever been in a traumatic relationship, a very toxic environment, that you allow yourself to pause from a romantic relationship in general. Okay, take a pause from a romantic relationship, and knowing that I have to work on me first. I have to work on me first. I have to protect me, because I'm valid, I'm important, I'm special, I'm somebody of worth. And I want to start off this conversation by saying that, ladies, we're valuable, we're special, and we're important. But first, that has to start off with us first, and not looking to find our worth, find our confidence, find out like who we are within a relationship. Yes, Robert, that's the truth. Men and women need to heal first before going into a new relationship. And let's be honest, most of the time that is not the case. There's a lot of things that come into play. One of them is, you start off a romantic relationship because you're lonely, you know, or somebody seems to be this knight in shining armor. I won't even lie that I've fallen for that old okey doke. I've fallen for the game, because a person was seemed to be like a person to come and rescue me. And come on, ladies, we don't need anybody to come and rescue us. You should be okay first. There's nobody that needs to come in and rescue us. So it means us going in the background and working on ourselves, having enough courage, to say that to ourselves. I have enough courage to love me. I have enough courage to respect me. I have enough courage to do the things that I need to do so that I can be my best self. So, to all of you ladies, if you do not feel that you are in a relationship where you are growing, you're growing in all aspects, you're not experiencing any personal growth, And I think that that becomes a major issue and problem, ladies. It becomes a major issue and problem because we're waiting for them to pick up the ball, or we're waiting for them to be who we thought they were when we first met them. And let's just say that many times when a man shows up, he shows up because that's not the real him. He shows up like a character. He shows up like, oh, like he's this knight in shining armor, when all of it is a story. It's all a character. None of it is the real him, because he's giving you what you have said you wanted, on your dating profiles, on, you tell people my ex or this person did this and this. So, I definitely wanted to start off the conversation by saying that first, before we get into relationships, we first have to show up whole. We have to show up healed. We have to show up knowing what we want. And we have to show up bringing something to the table. Now, I can say, as a woman who has put some work into getting my therapy and healing, not only from my childhood wounds, but also from previous relationships, you know, yes, Robert, he is telling you what you want to hear. And that is a major problem. It's a major problem for a lot of people because, of course, if you're telling somebody that you want this or you want that, of course, you're giving them the blueprint, you're telling them everything. And of course, if you want to hear something, it sounds good, and then you fall for the okey doke, the old okey doke, the old, bait and switch. And there are a lot of us ladies, and like I say, gentlemen as well, vice versa. Everything applies on both sides. There's no one sidedness over here that things just apply to women and we're spiteful against men. No, I want my male loved ones, audience, to also know that you deserve to get a healthy relationship and not a toxic one. We always talk about healing our wounds from the past so that we can show up the best way possible that we deserve to be, so that we can be happy. And before I say that, welcome to the Sip and Chat. If I have not, oh, here's my co host, Miss Nexie. Hey, Miss Nexie.
Hello, Miss Marlene. How are you?
Hey, welcome back. We missed you.
Oh, I missed me. I was so sick. I couldn't talk. Like my voice was gone.
Mhm.
Um, I think my kids liked it because I couldn't nag. But I missed the nagging, and I missed you all so much. Oh,
Yes,
how are
definitely.
you?
I'm doing great, Miss Nexie. Welcome back. We miss you. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. All of those things.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Mhm.
So,
So, Miss
what you
Nexie,
sipping on?
First of all, Miss Nexie, what are you sipping on?
Hot ginger, lemon, and honey tea.
Oh, okay.
Yes, very good. I love that combination. And I'm not a tea person. You know that.
Oh, the tea person in me. I was like, ooh.
I saw that face. I saw that face. What are you sipping on, Miss
Okay,
Marlene?
Miss Nixie, I do something special for you all. We're talking about relationships today. So I brought out, this was my mom and my dad's wedding glass.
Oh,
You
how
see the S on it?
beautiful. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's my mom and dad's wedding. I got one and my sister got the other one. But anywho, I got a
Is
one
that
of
the only
these.
thing you got? from? I mean, everybody else took everything else. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
I'm
I got a
keeping it to
wine
myself.
glass.
Somebody
So
else took everything, but we're not gonna go there today.
we're not going there today. But I have today I have the Martinelli's. Oh, this is not sponsored. I have the Martinelli's, a sparkling apple grape.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
That is so, so good. Oh, and ice too. Oh, I wish I could do that today. I wish I could.
Oh, it's so good.
Go ahead,
I,
rub it
I
in.
have Miss Nexie. I have been
Do that.
detoxing.
Just rub it in. Just do it. Continue to just knife me, woman. Knife me.
Oh, I'm gonna pour a little bit more.
Oh, she is so mean.
Mm.
So God, I miss this.
So, Miss Nexie, today, today's topic is a good one. I sent you some information about, you know, I don't know if you were able to look at that video.
I did. I
Mhm.
listened to the first or and watched the first 5 minutes,
Mhm.
but I didn't continue because I wanted to remain impartial.
Okay.
Meaning, I want my emotions to come through. I knew what the topic was, but I want
Mhm.
to do my own stories without taking in their emotions, because sometimes I do. When topics are really, really good, I take somebody else's and then my emotions get super higher and whatever. So
Mhm.
I said, nope, nope. I'm going to leave it there because I want to give my side of it. Like, I don't want to get, how can I put it?
You don't
Tainted
you,
by that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you want to give
Mhm.
an unbiased
Yeah,
opinion.
impartial.
Yeah. So, Miss Nexie, today's topic is when a woman emotionally detaches from her man. Now, I was just saying, first, before all of this, relationship, before you even get in a relationship with somebody, first, we have to be healed, ladies. We have to work on making sure we show up to the table happy, whole, not miserable, because I think it's the reason why we kind of draw these type of people to us, because when we're happy and we're healed, not saying we can't, but it's a little bit less likely to draw that kind of person, or be want to be in a relationship with somebody like that, if we are happy within ourselves, because we'll be it'll be easier for us to see the red flags, because we will have boundaries, we have our own worth. We're not looking for that from another person.
Yeah, I feel that um, when I feel that the topic for me personally, I
Mhm.
don't, I'm not saying for you, but for me, I feel that it was more um, checking out when you are already in the relationship deep in, when you're already emotionally attached to that person, you've been with that person for years and you've been putting up with a lot, and you probably have been like a lot of us in relationships, attached and in love and a little bit jealous, right, and things like that. So I feel that the topic is more for people that have been in serious relationships with probably um with a person that probably loves that kind of attention, that kind of drama, that likes to
Attention
check out other
seeker.
girls, even if they're not pretty, just so that person gives them that, oh, I'm jealous, and they feel important. The one thing I can tell you, and I couldn't relate 100%, um, because I'm not the jealous type, but
Mm.
I can relate to the checking out part. And on the topic of, you stop counting on that person for certain things, you stop asking, I mean, I want you this day because we got to do this, when you know what I mean, like, so that's why I said I don't want to go there with this because I'm gonna get confused, so I wanted to keep it impartial and my own
Yeah.
experience. But yeah, I felt like
Yeah.
the topic was more for people that were already embedded in a long lasting relationship. That's how I
Yeah.
took the topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I took the topic too. And anybody who's gonna watch in the replay, I'm gonna put a link in the
Yeah, I was
description
about to say that.
of
Put
the
the link because the video is beautiful. She's amazing. She's really,
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the link after the stream is over, so you guys can take a look at what we're. This is kind not a reaction, but like it's kind of my thoughts on it, and I thought it would be a very good topic for conversation because I'll just say this. Most of the time, the issue always is that in some relationships, not necessarily that it's toxic, but depending on the man, a lot of men always complain that a woman is so so emotional. She's so emotional. She's always this. She's always crying, or she's always this. But then, what about when it gets to the point where a woman I would say is fed up
Mm-hmm.
and she says, okay, there's only so much times you could ask somebody to do this or to do, to do the right thing, especially like according to the video that I we watched, it was like you've said how many times you don't like certain things, or you talk about the things that you don't want, you don't
That
need,
bother
you don't.
you.
Yeah.
That bother you, Miss Marlene. And
Mhm.
again, and this is my experience. I'm not a jealous type of person. Never have been. I don't know if it's because it was something that I didn't witness growing up or I didn't
Mhm.
develop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of what it is, but I have never been that type of I need to know everywhere you're going. I need to know who you're with. I want to know your friends. And I haven't had that much dating experience, and maybe that's why I'm the way I am because I got married young. I was with the same man for many many years. I haven't
Mhm.
really dated. So, but in the relationship as a young person, I wasn't that type of person. I wasn't that jealous type of woman, and that I need your timeline for what you're doing every day. And if you don't answer, I will question. I wasn't like that per
Mhm.
se. There were certain things I didn't like, right? Certain things that maybe, I had, let's say, a recital for one of the children, and you were at work, and I'm like, I told you 3 weeks ago that this was happening, like, and you didn't show up, right? So, and again, it's something that you go through emotionally as a woman. I feel that, at least for me, my experience. Oh, before I go there, hi, Miss Jackie. I wanted to say that since the
Yes.
very beginning, I forgot. Hi, it's nice to see
Yes.
you too. As a
Hi, Miss
woman,
Jackie. I'm sorry, Nexie. Hi,
oh no, no,
Jackie.
no.
Hi, Robert. Hi, everybody who's in the
Hi,
chat.
everybody in chat. Hi, Robert. For me, again, I got married, very young, and we made, we had our family, and but for me, it was I was invested in our marriage, in our relationship. But there is points, and I remember when we were, when you get into fights, and you're like, well, the door is wide open.
Mhm.
Don't let it hit you in the tush
Yeah,
when you
don't let the
leave because
door
you don't
hit you
care.
where the.
Where the sun don't shine. Go on,
Yeah.
go on. So you have those type of moments because I'll be lying if I would say, oh my god, my marriage was all like
Yeah, it was
Candy Lane,
perfect.
like Candyland. You know that game that it wasn't
Yeah.
like that. I didn't find candies everywhere I went. There was a lot of, there's two people again trying to live together in the same space. And so there was a lot of, plenty of fights and, things said sometimes that you're like, I can't believe I said that, but it's how I feel, right? But
Mhm.
what I will always tell my husband is, you know, I know the door is open, but if one day I cross that door, if if I
Mhm.
go out, I'm gonna do it on the day that I will never come back because I don't play games. I'm not
Yep.
sure yet. I'm still in that relationship, still loving you, so I can't do that. But one day I will cross that door and it will slam on my tush, yes, but it will slam on your face as well because I will never open that door again. So I feel that a lot of women, even though we don't voice it like this, a lot of us put up with it because we're not in the place where we can actually not give a rat's tush
Mhm.
about you yet or what you do or don't do. Um, so a lot of times we're in love, we put up with it, we do certain things, it bother us, we make excuses, but there's a point where when you stop caring and they start seeing that you don't ask, you don't
Yep.
question, you don't count on them for anything. Hey, there was this recital, why didn't you tell me? Well, you missed the past 10 years, so why now?
Yeah.
Right? And so when you get to that point and they start noticing and then they start asking, like, we saw that it, do you have somebody else?
Mhm.
What's going on
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. That's
Is somebody
Miss
else sweet talking to you? What?
Miss Nexie. That's the thing that always has irritated me when it comes to relationships. The moment when the woman or vice versa, the man comes to the realization that I don't have to take this, I don't have to put up with this. I have a choice to make. It always seems when they find out that you've come to your cup is full and you're ready to throw in the towel. That's when they make a decision. I'm going to change, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. It's like when they realize that they're going to lose you, now
Mm,
all of a sudden they're going to do the right thing, and now all of a sudden they want to say that you're cheating on them. It's like, why does a person have to be cheating on you because they don't want you anymore? All it is that you've made a decision that I don't deserve this treatment. And especially, I want to say, especially when it comes to being in a relationship with someone who is a cheater,
mhm. Oh, yeah,
specifically.
definitely. Yes, but again, a lot of times it's not even physical, it can be emotionally. Cheating you emotionally all the time, making your feelings not important to them. Oh, okay, well, she'll forget it. She always does. She forgives me. It's okay. She can handle this. I mean, yeah, there are kids, but they're more her kids. She's got
Hmm.
more time than I do, or she's put up with it for a long time. It's okay, and it's an unconscious decision that we make. And I don't know how or when it happens, Marlene, because I don't remember when it happened for me that I did not care.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, uh, he was traveling a lot. And, when are you coming back? I mean, how many days? Oh, I don't know, probably 5, probably 6. Oh, okay. So when my children told me you've always been a single parent,
Mm.
I was puzzled. I was like, what? No, they're like, yeah, mom, you've always been a single parent. So I don't get why you're freaking out now that you guys are not together. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, it didn't register, but I came to the point where um a text, I'll be gone for 3 days. Okay, I'll see you when I do. Th-
Hmm.
I wasn't missing that person anymore, and I
Yeah.
was focused on the kids and whatever. And then now when that person had the time and I didn't, or didn't, like like I wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
That's when the questioning, oh, why are you acting like this? What's
Yeah.
wrong? Do you have somebody else? I
Yeah.
mean, is somebody else sweet talking you or to you? Or do you know what? Is somebody at work? It's like, what? Really? We're gonna go there?
Yeah.
Have I ever given you in all
For
these
that
years? Have
reason.
I ever given you, the a thought of the thinking of, I'm that type of person, a two-timer, a cheater like you? I'm not like that.
Hmm.
But some of us that are more um, overthinkers and serious
Yeah.
about who we are and not playing around with people's feelings and stuff like that, we don't take those steps of finalization because we need to make sure that there's nothing left there. Because when we make that decision, we're done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah,
We're done.
it's like when you finally, I don't know if it, I feel like as a woman, I can't speak for all women, but I feel like for myself, where it builds, it's been building like it's like chipping away at the
Hmm.
relationship. And when you get to that point in the relationship and you're like, it's just little things until it's just a breaking point and you just have had enough. It's like it can first start off by you requesting simple things like communicating.
Hmm.
That's not a simple thing, but certain things that
But it's
you
simple enough.
yeah, it's simple things like just somebody being there for you, someone holding your hand, or him thinking about you, and doing something simple like maybe getting you a drink at bedtime or in the morning, or making the coffee, emptying the garbage. But it's like after a while, and when they see like you're not even asking anymore, like
Yeah.
you didn't
You're
ask
not
me to empty
coming
the
to them
garbage.
for that
Yeah.
reinforcement, right, Ms. Marlene? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're not coming to them for that emotional support. That's what I wanted to say.
Mhm. Yes. You're not coming to them like you used to. Like maybe
Hmm.
before you would always be like, um, I could say, like, for example, for me, in a relationship, like when you have those bad days at work, or you're going through something with your siblings or your relatives, and when you're in a safe and secure relationship, the automatic reaction is for you to be able to have somebody that you can just lean on and say, I'm feeling this and I'm overwhelmed." And not that you want them to fix it, but you want somebody that you can lean on that will listen to you and support you. And for me, that's one of the first things that when I detach myself from you emotionally, and that's something that men have to be very careful for. That I feel like a lot of men are just like, oh, like whatever. Oh, she's always emotional.
She'll
She's
be
always
fine.
crying. She's always crying, like, you know, and they get used to not being there and listening. They get used to like, oh yeah, she's always blabbering about something, or she's always, and they'll start saying things like, you're always complaining, you're always this, and they talk about your communication style as you're always a complainer, you're always this, bringing a negative connotation to it. Hey, Boss Life Online, how are you doing? Welcome.
Hi, Gio.
So that's one of the things that I think is, for me, that's one of the things where I already start to back away. If I feel like I can't talk to you as my man about things that I have going on, and I have to, and let me be honest with you, Nexie, then guess what? The moment they stop making themselves available for you emotionally, watch somebody else pop in to be there
Mm.
for you emotionally. And I feel that's not good and healthy for any romantic relationship. You have to be able to communicate what you're going through, even, and vice versa, you know, being there and supporting your man as well. And the man supporting you, it has to go on both sides. But most of the time, when a woman stops feeling emotionally supported, she's just going to be like, well, if you don't care, then I stop caring about you as well.
It, exactly, and again, for at least for me, I'm gonna speak for me, right? Because I cannot speak for every woman, but as
Hmm.
a woman, as a mother, for me, it's I'm not someone that it's very crazy, like emotional, and I need all that attention. But there's certain topics that, let's say on our son's diagnosis, right? I'm heartbroken because my son had just been diagnosed with something. I'm
Mm.
brokenhearted. And for And I talked with my husband, and I know that he probably felt weird because I was in pain, and he didn't know emotionally he's not there. He doesn't connect well. I
Mhm.
always tell him, I think you're Asperger's or something, because there's something there. Like emotionally, he's very smart. He's brilliant, but emotionally, he's not well put together. And and instead of because I will cry and I'll be very sad, and I didn't know what to do, what was going to happen to my son going, moving forward and growing, because he got diagnosed when he was almost 6 years old. So I was very heartbroken. And I remember coming, trying to get that reinforcement as, don't worry about it. You know what? We'll work it. We'll see what we'll do. We'll work. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I wanted a reassurance. And I got a phrase from him that he regrets to this day, because he said, you know what? Let it go. Cry, take a day, cry it out, and just let it go, and then do what you have to do. And I looked at him, and I remember the pain in my heart for my son. It just got bigger, it got deeper, and I
Mm.
was so heartbroken, and I felt that love for him that I had die
Yep.
a little bit more at that point. And I remember that, Marlene. I remember looking at him, feeling that love for him, that admiration, that respect, and everything else that I had leave me.
Yeah.
Because who says that to a mother? Cry it
Mhm.
out. Get it over with. Just cry it out, and
Yeah.
then move on.
But
You're
but
gonna have to.
Miss Nexie, I think sometimes I can't speak for all men, but some men that I know from what they've said to me, they feel like once you talk about something, that should be it. Like you should never, that should be it. Okay, we talked about it. Like we don't need to talk about it again. Like, okay, let's talk about like why they want to know why we're talking about this again. Because, we know that most of the time women are more emotional and men are more logical. They're more of the thinkers, and women are more of the ones that feel. And not all the time, there's always exceptions to the rule, but for the most part that's usually how it is. But the thing about it is, do you really want to tell your woman, your wife, that you don't care about how she feels? It's like, this is supposed to be, when you're in a relationship, this is supposed to be somebody you trust, somebody you lean on. And if you're telling her, I don't have time for her, or like you're shunning her, or one of the most famous things is when men push you away. Like, oh, the only time they want to be close to you is for sexual advances, but the rest of the time, like, oh, forget it. Like, oh, I'm busy over here. And it has to be more than that in a relationship. Don't get me wrong, women have needs as well, but it's not something, we're not like a light switch, like turn on and turn off. Our emotional needs have to be supported first before we can get into the sexual desire thing. Well, I can't speak for all women, but I'm speaking up for myself.
For myself too. You're speaking for me too.
Hmm.
And again, that's why for me, having an intimate relationship or intimacy with someone, because we have to be very careful here, because a lot of kiddos watch this, and we got to watch our words here. We
Yeah, you
have
gotta
to,
watch your
because
words.
our kiddos, they got the right to watch this, and we have to be nice and clean. But for a you know intimate relationship, maybe that's why I cannot do casual. It has to be a relationship. Again, I haven't had a lot of dating experience. I've been single and alone for almost 14 years.
Hmm.
And if it didn't happen back then, it's not going to happen now. That's the way I put it. But I have never been able to. So for me, yeah, feelings are everything.
Yeah.
Before we can get to that point, we have to be connected, right? We have to be in tune with each other. And it happens. Yeah, and once you disconnect, Marlene, because those things, that's exactly what happens when things like this hit you at the right place at the right time. That's when you disconnect,
Yeah.
and that's when that love, that um inquiring of how they're doing, what they're doing, why they're doing, all of that attention you had for
Yeah.
this person goes away.
It
And
does.
for some men, that is like, what is wrong with her? Why doesn't she care? She probably has somebody else. That's it.
Yeah.
She's
And I
probably
went.
cheating on me.
Yep. And I wanted to highlight this comment from Gio. She says, yes, men are like that, but it takes women time to get over things, or maybe she did not like she did not feel heard. Um, and that's one thing. It's not one of those things like there's a difference, and sometimes men don't get this part, that sometimes you're not speaking for them to fix things, and
Uh-huh.
most of the
You
time,
just
men,
want,
that's how they operate. They want to
yes.
fix the situation. And sometimes you're just talking because you need to vent. But there's other times where you're talking where you need some help in getting from A to Z. But
Hmm. You need reassurance. You need the
yes.
connection. The I'm here for you. Even if he's rolling his eyes inside of his head. Even if he's going,
Mhm.
oh my God. But
Yeah.
again, when things hit you at the right time, and you have probably been putting up with the same reaction for many, many years, but you have ignored it because I don't know, it hasn't you haven't had the need to feel that love that you're supposed to feel when somebody's comforting you. You probably have put it on the side, put it on the side, on the shelf, like the shelf breaker. You put it on the shelf, put it on the shelf. It's okay. He That's how he is. But when it comes to
Yeah.
some, and this is the thing, when that happened to me, because it was probably one of the most shocking things that I have gone with my children. And these are our children. It's not like this is my kid and it's not yours. I understand why you didn't care. No, this is our son, right? So I know that he was trying to tell me, Nexi, get over it because there's a lot of work to do. We have to be ready for this because we have to therapy and this, and so
Mhm.
like kind of shaking some sense. But I think that the way I took it
Mhm.
is, I don't care what you feel. Get over it, move on, let's go. What's next? Like, my feelings didn't
Yeah.
count for him.
Mhm.
What I was feeling, I remember looking at him, and we have talked since, and he's like, "Yeah, that wasn't a good choice of words." I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to dismiss them. I was just trying to help. And I said, "Yeah, but if anything, you probably helped me realize other things that I had
Yeah.
not seen before." It's like something, I don't know if you have ever experienced this, Marlene, with people that you're in a relationship with. That there's a lot of things that you have kind of like, I don't know, maybe that people tell you, I don't know about that dude. You're like, no, he's so nice, he's so this, he's so that. And that
Mhm.
moment, and that veil comes out of like your eyes. They
Yeah.
like
For the first
somebody
time.
pulls away that dullness of your
Yeah.
eyes and your heart. They open. You look at them and you're like, you are who they say you are.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just never wanted to see it.
No, no. I think it's that you see it, but you don't want to believe it. And then
Mhm.
sometimes when situations happen in the romantic relationship, whether it's your boyfriend or it's your husband, it's because you didn't want to believe it. And when something happens to you and you get backstabbed, cheated on,
Yeah.
whatever, manipulated, used, whatever the case is, ladies, but you finally like it hits you and you're like you're seeing it for the first time, not that it hasn't been happening, but a lot of times as ladies we put up with so much things, and you keep like, oh, you just keep pushing it aside or you ignore it and you see the red flags, but your life is going on, and if you have children you're trying to juggle all of it, to like one little thing happens and then it's like your heart breaks and you're like, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Exactly.
know. I don't know. And it's not even that they necessarily do a big thing, but it's like so many little things all along, like not showing you compassion, not greeting you, not being kind to you, don't help with the kids. Little, not that those are little things, but a whole bunch of little things add up to one day. Sometimes it could be just someone just dropping a pin or something very small, and you're like, that's
and the
it.
and the and the bomb just goes bam. The dam just opens up and
The
all
damn
the
it
floodgates
opens up and it's like, we're done.
the
Miss
floodgates of
yes.
Hell open up.
I was gonna say hockey sticks, but okay. Um, Miss Geo says if men don't know how to comfort themselves, they don't know how to comfort you as their woman. They they be like, I am tired of you whining. Maybe I
Mhm.
will stay single. That's a, but you know what? When it comes to that, what really gets me, everybody, what gets me, kind of irritates me, they always want you to not be emotional until one day you stop being emotional.
Yes.
Then they're like, are you sick? Is
No, no, no.
everything
Oh,
okay?
aren't you
Yeah.
listening to what I'm going through? Why don't you care? Like, don't you feel bad for me? Like, dude, I'm checked out. I don't care if your foot is
Mhm.
falling off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I don't care if you fell off from the roof. I mean, you
Mhm.
know, move on. Like, just cry it out today and move on. That's what I
Yep.
kept on saying. And he was like,
No,
"Oh my God, I'm not gonna outlive that one, am I?"
no. So the first one that I want to talk about, Miss Lexi, is when a woman stops caring what you do. Maybe before they used to always be like, asking you, and they do this. How it is in a relationship, especially when have been in a relationship for many years, and they keep doing stuff, and you're
Mm-hmm.
always like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, and then one day you're just like, I don't care what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that, for me, that's like one of the first steps of a person starting to back away and detach their heart. And most women are this way when their heart no longer is attached to a person.
Mm-hmm. That's
It,
it. Is
yeah,
is the
that's
beginning of
it.
the end, Miss Marlene.
Yeah,
Let's call it that. It's the beginning of the end. Because a lot of men don't, not a lot, but our men, you and I have had experience with them. They haven't
yeah.
understood that the fact that once a woman detaches and it's done with your
Mhm.
nonsense, there's no coming back from that. And that's the one thing I will always tell, my husband is, once I'm done, I cannot open my heart again to you,
Yeah,
because I'm the type of person that will make excuses sometimes for people I love, my best friends, my immediate family. My best friends are my sisters. I consider them sisters, and as sisters and family, you give them, chances, and sometimes you make
right.
excuses for their behavior, whatever. But once I something that goes beyond, and probably I'm fed up with through all these years, once that's done, I cannot just forget.
Can't go back.
Yeah, I cannot go back. That's it. I'm
Mhm.
done. And again, those are things that, I you go through them. Sometimes you stay in the relationship for a very long time because you have a good relationship, right? You have a
Yeah.
harmonious one. You get along well, whatever. There's certain things of the relationship that are not working out, but overall you guys get along. You have kids or whatever it is that you have together. And you stay in there because it's not done yet. You're getting there, but it's not
Mhm.
completely done.
No,
Now,
but
yeah, and I've had, a few examples like I put forward in the beginning is, um, the counting on, okay, we're gonna have this, the kids have a game, or the kids have a birthday party with so and so, or our
Mhm.
nephew, our niece, their weddings or birthday parties, whatever. Maybe not their weddings, but their birthday parties or their kids, showers, baby showers or whatever. And is this day? Oh, I can't. I have to work that day, or I can't. I'm gonna be out of town that day, or I can't. Oh, put in the calendar. I'll let you know. So once that goes on for too many of those occasions that are important to you, because that's the thing that they don't understand. If you're asking them to go with you because it's important to you, you want them there. As babysitters, not the point, right? You just want them there because, hey, it's family. We're going, the kids probably want to see you there too,
Yeah.
So once that so many of those, I stopped putting things in the calendar. I stopped telling this person, my husband, we're gonna have this. And then, like I said, once everything was done, it's why didn't you tell, where are you going? Oh, we have
Yeah.
a game. We have a game today. There's a tournament for, water polo for our
Yeah.
daughter, or there's a tournament for bracket, like whatever, softball or whatever they were doing. Why didn't you want me to go? Oh no, it's okay. Oh, I can go
Yeah.
with you. Oh, if
You
you
don't
want
get
to.
you don't care
Why didn't you
anymore.
tell me? You haven't been available for many years in my mind, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I forgot. I don't know. I just didn't think you were interested. But I'm here. Yeah, but I don't know. If you want to go, let's go. It wasn't that anymore. I wasn't there anymore. And I couldn't go back. And I never did. I never went back to giving the schedule, and these are the games, the tournaments,
Yeah.
or these are the dates that are important. I stopped, and and to this day, you know, all these years later, even when there's important things for our sons or our daughters, I don't communicate
Yeah.
unless the kids do it. I don't, because it's
Yeah.
not there anymore.
But you know what it is that sometimes I don't mean to say it like this, but I don't know any other way to say it. But sometimes in a relationship, we baby our men, you know. Like you do so much for them to where you enable them to disable them. Like you do so much that that they expect more. Like, well, you're already doing this, why can't you do that? And it's like, and then it gets to a point where if I have to do everything, why do I have you, you know?
Hmm. Oh,
And then,
and that goes emotionally, Marlene,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
do you care? Because it, like, okay, I mean, that person did that to you. You know how your auntie is. You know how your, yes, but she did it again. Yeah, but I mean, why do you care? It's like, I I want you to
Yeah.
care. Like, I'm telling you because it hurts me. Like, just don't go to her. Don't see her anymore. Like, it's that easy for them, right? And they keep on
Yeah.
dismissing your feelings. And as a woman, that's what we are. We're all about the heart, about the feelings. And I'm gonna talk about my one of my good friends. Her husband, it's so amazing, Marlene. He's such a good man. And I mean, I'm not exaggerating. This man is good. He has a wonderful heart. He he's always helping community. He's always doing something for people. Anytime she needs something, he's right there. This is her second marriage. And he's so into what she's feeling. Even if it's the slightest emotion. Oh yeah, he's all ears. What do you need? What happened? Okay, what's going on? And in the beginning, she was like, "Do you think he's faking it? Do you think that he's just trying to like win me over?" Blah blah blah. And this is about 20 years ago when they got married. She's like, "I don't know,"
Mhm.
because she came from a marriage like mine. Okay, I get it, but yeah, let's talk about me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're hurt, but whatever. So, what about me? Is my dinner ready? Like, can you
Yeah.
cry and cook at the same time?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. And But the whole thing about that, Miss Nexie, is that, and I know that this is a very sensitive topic for the guys, and I'm not trying to step on any toes of the men, but I do think it's very important. When we talk about men, most of the time, men are about respect. But for women, it's a respect thing to not be listened to. For
Mm.
I can only speak for myself. Maybe not all women, but for myself, I feel like if I'm telling you what I'm dealing with, what I'm going through, whether it's for my mental health or it's because of something that has happened or about to happen, and it's important to me, and then they act like it's not important to them. Why would you keep going and telling somebody
Yeah,
something if they're always bringing down what you're talking about, like, oh,
playing
like it's
down
not
what you
important, like
feel. Hmm. Yeah,
whatever.
playing down what you feel.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, okay, yeah, okay. So,
Okay,
how was your
yeah,
day
yeah,
overall?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Read Gio's comment. You have to read that one.
Okay. Oh yeah, she had a few.
The last
The
one, I
first
think. Not.
the first one, she said, for her ex, take this medication and stop whining. You are sick. I am tired of your mouth. I am going out, and maybe when I get back, you will be in the hospital. That's what I wanted to say to my old exes.
Gio.
And she says that means if I say that, I am done. And the last
Exactly
one,
my
she's
point.
yes. And Gio says, well, what you give me, I will give you. And if you are not giving enough, I am leaving. Today I know the difference. I am not the girl that I used to be, and I don't want to be.
Mm-hmm. Amen
Yeah,
to that.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing that, yes, for men it's about respect. It's one of those things that I don't want to say in a negative light, but sometimes you have no other way to say it but to say this. But most of the time, it always the men are always talking about respect, right? Consider it. You express yourself, cutting you off, and like Gio says, you're talking. They turn up the TV, or you're saying something, and they're rolling their eyes, or they're scrolling on their phone, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
How would they feel if they were something that's important to them, and you're like, yeah, whatever, or you don't move as fast as they want you to, but I thought you were going to do it. If you give them back the same energy that they give you, now it becomes a problem, and they'll say like, oh, you're being immature, or that's not the same thing. Oh,
Mm.
why not? Why not? You said this was that's important to you. Well, what's the difference? That what I was saying was important to me. So,
And again, that's when everything is done. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you know that that's it. I'm done with this person. There is really nothing there anymore. And
nothing
it
there.
takes you a minute, to get there, because it does. It takes you a minute, especially if you're someone, if you've been with this person for a very long time. It takes you a minute or two to actually get to the point or of where you can say, you know what,
Yeah, I agree.
emotionally we're not connected anymore. And that's for us, that's the most important thing. And I'm speaking for me. I'm a very simple person. You know what I mean? Like, love, respect, a shoulder to cry on, an ear that I can fill with all of my crazy stuff that I have going on at the time. That's all I need. I don't need fancy stuff. I don't need fancy cars, fast cars, a beautiful house. I don't need any of that. Just a good shoulder to cry on. And someone that gives good hugs and has a good ear to listen to you.
Yeah, giving your quality time.
That
There's
exactly.
so many women who say the same thing. I'm not speaking for all women, and I'm not talking about toxic women, because they are out there.
Mhm.
But I'm talking about a woman who knows who she is, and knows what she wants. And a woman that knows what she wants is not going to keep settling and compromising their mental health, compromising their physical health, because sometimes, as women, when we go through things, we carry things in our bellies, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then you start developing health issues and ulcers and all kinds of medical issues because of the stress that you feel from the lack of support, from the lack of compassion. And it's one of those things, like, if a man feels like it's okay to not be compassionate to you, and then the next thing they come kissing on you, and you're like, what? Like, I just was
Yeah,
telling you
no.
how I feel like, and I understand from what, I've talked to different men in my life, and they've said, it doesn't equate for them. For that, most men don't care about what we were talking about. They just have the desire, and that's it. And they can separate the two. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that has nothing to do with that. I have a need, and let's take care of the need. But for women, it goes hand in hand. If we're not feeling heard and supported and communicated with and respected,
That bed is gonna be cold.
and
It's
nothing's
gonna be
going
a
down.
very cold
Actually, you better
bed.
take a pillow and go to the couch.
Yeah. Might as well hug it and kiss that pillow because that's it. And again, it doesn't take much from for us to be happy. At least for me. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. But when somebody continuously dismisses what you feel, continuously does the I hear you, I
Yeah,
hear you. So
dismisses you like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay,
or
is
I
that
hear
it? Is that
you.
it? Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I hear you, but you
While
know
they're on
what?
their phone. Uh-huh.
Yeah, what
Uh-huh.
about
Uh-huh.
me?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't take into account that those things that you're telling them, especially when you're someone that doesn't come to them like for emotional needs like that often. But when you do, right? It should be more like, oh wow, you know what, she really doesn't ask for much, but this must be something she cares
It's
for,
important. Yeah.
and yeah, and that is important to her, and that is probably hurting her. But instead, sometimes you get the what's wrong with you, like, do you have
Yeah.
somebody else,
Yeah.
like,
It's
you don't care anymore, what is it, do you think you're better than me now, or it's like,
mhm.
what
Yeah,
what about all those years?
it's one of those things, like, when you feel lack of support, lack of understanding, a lack of compassion, it's like it shuts off everything. Of course, you're no longer going to want to be intimate. You're no longer going to want to, like, what they have going on. And another point that I had here is when a woman stops caring about what you say. Like, maybe before, you be like, "What did you say? What did you say?" And check them. Don't talk to me like that. When you stop, like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you know. Well, like, whatever, whatever. And
Yeah.
you start giving them back their same energy. Like, whereas before, you would check them. Oh, you're not going to argue. They'll like try to say things to engage you, like, in
Yep.
something. And
To
maybe before,
satisfy their ego, and you're
yeah,
like, yeah, no, I'm not there anymore.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
done.
yeah. And I can say that I am 100% that way. When I have emotionally detached, I don't care. Like when I would be saying something, like things that are important to me, then when they have something to say, and I give them back that same energy, and I'll start scrolling on my phone, and they're like, "I was saying something to you." I was like, "Uh-huh, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, uh-huh, yeah." And they're like, "You weren't listening to me." I said, "Okay, yeah, okay, all right,
I hear you. Uh-huh.
yeah."
Yep.
When you give them back the
But I
same
wasn't saying anything.
energy,
I still hear you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I'm listening. I'm listening. Yeah, I can do two things at the same time. When you
Mm.
when you give them back what they put out, it becomes a problem. And
Yeah.
I want to highlight this comment that Gio put in there. Denzel said, if a man really loves you, he is going to do what it takes to keep you. He will listen, he will comfort, he will do what it takes to make sure you are okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And again, there's sometimes, like, when you have relationships like that with if you've been in a relationship with someone that really didn't wasn't there emotionally, and you, for years, you continuously, like I said before, dismiss that. Oh, it's just with his mom that he's like this. Oh, it's just with his sister that he's like this, not with me. He's not going to be like that with me.
Mhm.
Right? You continuously say that. It's not going to be like that. No, not me. No, it's with them. Right? So you
Yes.
dismiss the signs, but you get
Mhm.
in a relationship with this person. Now, I was talking to you about my friend. She was in a relationship for many years as well with, her husband. He was very abusive and everything. But once he once they divorced and she got into the relationship with her new husband, she was doubting everything he said,
Mhm.
everything he did. Do you think it's just an act? Is he putting up like an act? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, think about it, look into it. Maybe it's not an act.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Maybe
you
he really
but
does care.
but and that's why I was saying at the beginning of this discussion that it's important when you go in a relationship, whether you're a woman or you're a man, in making sure you're healthy, in your mindset, in like past traumas and issues, whatever you have going on, until you face whatever you're dealing with, you're not good to anybody, and it affects your entire life, your work, whatever you're doing for a job or money, whatever it is that you're doing in your life is affected by what you have going on. And when you're not happy and healed in yourself first, you're no good in any relationship,
Mm-hmm.
romantic, with your children, with your siblings, with whoever, with friends. If you don't know how to show up for yourself first, ladies, you cannot show up for your man in the right way. And we have to stop expecting for the validation from your husband or your boyfriend, to be what counts as the most important thing. We first have to validate ourselves, ladies. We have to love ourselves, and we have to take some time to heal from past relationships and not come in thinking you're going to do what my ex did, and my ex did this and my ex did that. Not that, of course, we're not going to look for red flags and things if that's in a person, but we're not always going to be like, you're going to do just what they did, and look, you did, and my exit, and my exit, because that's not healthy. That's a toxic behavior. But we have to be very careful that we allow ourselves to heal from our past so that we can actually be present in a healthy relationship. But the issue is when we've done that, when you've put in the work, when you've put in the time, you've gone to therapy, you've got counseling, you're in a good space, you're in a relationship, and you're in a relationship with a man, and he's taking you for granted. And this is another big deal, Miss Nexie and chat. When a woman emotionally detaches from her man because you don't even care anymore if they show up. You don't
Mm-hmm.
you don't care, if they come home anymore.
It bothers you.
You don't care about date nights. You don't care about being there. Actually, you're like, oh, you could say at your mama, like, you're not asking questions like,
Mm-mm.
are you coming home? I made you dinner. You're not waiting for them to show up because most of the time you've probably been cheated on, you've been lied to, you've been manipulated, or a combination, or where that trust is broken. And I want to read Gio's comment. Men want to get an attitude when you don't listen, but once the emotional attachment is gone, you cannot get a woman back. In fact, you will be getting on her nerves. She might answer the phone, but trust me, she is rolling her eyes and laughing.
You know, again, when you're detached, and you're so right, and so is Gio. Once you're detached from this man, it bothers you. You're home. What, you're gonna be here the whole weekend? Oh, my
Oh
poor
yeah, like,
kids.
oh, I thought you were gonna go because I was gonna go out with my friends.
Yeah. Oh, you're
It's like,
gonna
are
be
you
home. I
leaving?
had
Are you leaving?
plans. You
Go
know
ahead
when
and
he
go.
no, you know
Go
when
ahead and
you
go.
know you're done, Marlene? Because I had done this before. Um if I had plans with someone, but he all of a sudden said, "You know what? I'm gonna stay home this weekend." I will cancel my plans. But you know you're done when he tells you, "I'm gonna be home a weekend," and you say, "Well, I have this weekend gone, so I'm sorry." I'll see
Yeah,
you Monday. I'll see you when I do. Okay. I'm not going to cancel my plans because now you decided to stay home. That's
yeah,
when you know you're done. You know what I mean? That's when you know that, hey, the emotional attachment is no longer there.
yep. The
This is
emotional,
done, but you
yeah,
don't know when to quit.
the emotion, and when the emotion is gone, you know already the sexual is gone. You know already that there's what you call it, the trust is gone, and you already, you've already, like the going back to the video that I'm gonna put in the description box when this is over. All you're doing, ladies, little by little, you're just planning your exit strategy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. It's just little
Yes,
by little.
ma'am.
You're just little by little, dropping little crumbs. Like, okay, it's things are breaking apart, and then one day it's like, that's it. You're but little by little you start backing away until you're you're gone. And it made me sad in this video to way that the husband treated his wife, that not being respectful, thinking that he could do whatever he wanted to because he was successful, because he had this and he had that, and he was thinking because he had power, because he had money, he had taken her for granted for a really long time. And then when she really was done and stop caring about what he did, how he showed up, how he talked, whatever. That's what the same thing, like you said earlier, he started to say, like, are you cheating on me?
Mm-hmm. And it happens to all of us. Is or sometimes even on the smallest of thing. I don't even know. Again, it happens so like all of the sudden, like, at least for
Mm.
me, that's what happened when I noticed that, I'm gonna be home. Yeah, but I have a weekend plan. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later. I'm taking my kids, so I'll see you. I'm gonna be gone for 3 days. I mean, you're gonna be here alone, and you're not canceling. And on date nights, you're like, oh, I really don't want to go, but I guess I'm gonna have to.
Mm.
And on intimacy, right? Oh my God, I guess when, because even that suffers when you're no longer attached to that
Mhm.
person. You're not feeling that love anymore. So it's
Yep.
more of an obligation. And I'm
Yep.
sorry to say it because I really am. Because at one point, and I used to think this, I loved this man at one point so much. This used to be like such an amazing time on date night that I will think of it. Like, I will make it such a great thing. Then I started thinking, but I was the one planning that. It wasn't him. He was
Yeah.
just showing up. That's the whole point.
And then next, see, I feel like another reason why when a woman has detached emotionally, it shows how she starts dressing as well. Maybe like in the beginning she'd be like all dolled up, you know
Hmm.
sexy clothes, cute hair done, nails and this and that. And then it just like she just slowly, like, like, don't care about anything.
I'm gonna wear my comfortable
I'm
pajamas,
gonna,
those old
yeah,
ones
like,
that I love,
like when
with my
it's a,
fluffy slippers.
yeah, when it's a date night and they be like, "You're wearing sweats," and you be like, "Yeah." Like,
Aren't
what's
you?
the problem? What's the problem? Come on,
I
let's
need
go.
elasticity for the meal I'm about to have. I need room for my belly to expand.
Yeah, you wear your the pants with the belt, with the that you can tie with
The-
the
yeah, with
shoestring,
the
the expandable
no, with the
pants.
yeah, those expandable jeans. Remember those expandable things? You're like, I need room. I mean, but oh, okay, that's what you're wearing. Yeah, why aren't you wearing something like me? Because I don't care.
It's like you're not gonna put on a dress or heels. I was like, this is what it is.
Yeah, are you gonna put a dress and heels? Because if you do, I'll put them on too. That you know what I mean? That's and that's when you again. Those are things that you notice, but you're not to the point of no return yet. You still have feelings. You still care. You still attach somehow, and it's not he's doing. It's yours. But
Yeah,
once that attachment, for one reason or another, gets let go, that's when you say, I'm leaving you. Take care of yourself. Thank you for all these years. I mean, I
yeah,
appreciate them. Take care. Ta ta. Bye bye. And
exactly.
that's it. You're done. And you
Yeah,
never, at least for me, I'm not the type of person because I've had friends that are, that break up, go back again, break up, go back, get back together again, break up, get back together again. I've had friends that started in the same, time as we did, and they will go back and forth. I'm leaving you, and she'll call me, and Can I stay with you for a couple of days? I'll be like, why?
yep,
Why are you guys playing this game? So I'm not that type of person. I've always been that I'm going to stick around no matter what. But once I'm done, that's exactly what I am. Done. And I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to talk to you face to face and I'm going to tell you I'm done. And this is, again, and they take you seriously because they know that you're not that type of person that plays around.
yep,
So, and when you get there, they're like, but why? I can change. I
yeah,
can. And they start doing all this romantic things that you're annoyed more than happy because you're like, seriously, dude? No, this should have been done 20 years ago. This was
yeah,
15 years ago. This was
yeah,
10 years ago. This was 5 years ago. This was 5 months ago. This was 5 days ago. You're done. I'm done. That's it. I can't go back to that. And unfortunately, some men are the types that like to, look good in front of the guys and, I'm going to treat my woman
mm-hmm.
whatever. You'll see she's not going to leave me. She's always going to be with me, blah, 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 blah.
Big old muscle
Yeah.
guy.
I can do whatever. She's never leaving me. And those
Hmm.
are the ones that get very surprised one day. Hey,
Yeah,
Flurg.
big flirt. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Um,
Yeah.
and a lot, and again, for me, I haven't had that much experience dating, and unfortunately or fortunately for me, I haven't. But the point is, I was in a relationship for so long, and I was so young, and I think that's the thing, Marlene, that I was so young that I didn't know like how to see things a certain way. Of course, as you get older, you get wiser, you get more mature. You come into your, and this is the thing that it helped me for him to be a certain way because
Hmm.
I detached pretty early on. I just didn't know it. So it gave me the opportunity to grow as a person, to develop as a woman, right? Without the relationship hold, because I was already unconsciously doing that detachment because of the behavior. So it allowed me to see, yeah, it took me many years and probably, you know, it was done probably very early on, but with the kiddos and, all those things that came in between, I think I stayed because I was so busy raising the kiddos that I didn't really care about what happened to me.
Yep.
Once the kiddos are grown and things
Then you
happen the
realize,
way they did,
yeah.
I feel that even if it would have not been what he did, and I've told you, I don't want to say it here, but even
Hmm.
if he would have not done what he did to me, I think eventually, once the kiddos were grown, I think I would have left. Even if the act that happened didn't had not happened, I think emotionally I was ready to go. That's why it was so easy for me to let go when that happened. It's like it gave me that excuse that now feels so bad that I'm about to do what I wanted to do for many years.
Exactly. You
But
know,
yeah.
yeah, it's like eventually one day you just say, enough is enough. And what I hate is I feel so sad for all of the ladies that, they're being the loyal wife or girlfriend. They've been faithful. They're not cheating. And they keep a nice home, all of those things, they're checking all of the boxes of a good woman. And because maybe a woman is asking to be encouraged, to be listened to be shown affection. And I don't mean affection that equals to, the bedroom stuff, but just somebody holding your hands, showing you compassion and care, looking into your eyes and talking to you, and not being on their phone or watching the TV or a game or a movie, like for a man that shows a woman that she's still valuable, important, just like she was when you first met her.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like these days, with social media and being this microwave society where everything is just moving so fast, that I can understand how it's very easy to take your woman for granted because, you just feel like, oh, I have her. And some men have that, thinking that they're not going anywhere,
She'll get
or
over it.
yeah, she'll get over it. Like, whatever, that's not important until one day the last whatever the match drops, the last shoe drops, or whatever it is you want to call it, and she's done and she's had enough. And then you want to be sorry. Then you want to say, let's talk, let's go to therapy, let's do that. And it's too little, too late, because when that woman comes to the realization of her worth, when that woman realizes she's been wasting her time, when that woman realizes that she's being taken advantage of and used and disrespected, especially being in a relationship with a man who's a serial cheater, and that can apply to many things, cheating on so many things, like, yeah, and disrespecting the relationship. And when a woman has had enough, you're never going to get her back.
Yeah, exactly, Marlene. Exactly. And I want to add a little something to what we're the topic at hand. Um, a lot of times we know we're done, but we have those family members. He's a good provider. He's so good to you. Look, you live in a wonderful place. Oh my God,
Or
he's
he's
such a
so good
hardworking
looking.
man. Look,
He's
look, yeah, look at him. He's always taking care of his family. He's always making sure you have insurance, you have a roof over your head. He's hardworking. He's the father of your children. And all those things sometimes cloud your mind, your judgment. And guilt you into staying with someone that, yes, is providing what he's supposed to, because otherwise if you divorce him, he's a he's gonna be on the hook for these kids. So yeah, he's there because it's probably convenient for him too, right? But he's not giving you what the heart and soul needs to live long and
Mhm.
happy life.
Yeah.
So people, and I'm telling you from experience, because I will say certain things like, I can't believe he just said that. There you go. Don't look at the little thing he just said. look at all the things that he does for the family. I mean, he works so hard. He's so smart.
Yeah,
He's
such a
this and
good
that. He's
man.
such
That's
a
a
good
good man.
provider.
That's a good
What are you going to
man.
do with those kids? What if another man comes and does something to the kid? What if, you know what I mean? Like, all those things will guilt, at
Hmm.
least to me, they will guilt me into staying and not voicing all of those things that I should have said, all those feelings I should have brought up to the surface. I pushed them down again from all of that clouded my mind, and the fact that I was in mom mode and overload with the kiddos. I didn't think of my emotional needs, my heart, my mind, my soul is not being nurtured. It's not being provided for. Yes, my household is being provided for, but I'm providing for my household too. But my heart, my soul, my mind, my feelings, they're not being provided for. So what am I doing here? I'm not here for my health,
Yep.
overall, but it is always important that when you evaluate, because I think that a lot of times we're so afraid, Marlene, of being alone and leaving this long lasting relationship. We're so afraid of, what if I end up, like, if I end, like, this used to be my thoughts when my kiddos were small. What if I end this relationship and then I get with someone and that person does something to my kids? No,
Hmm.
I'd rather stay here because this is their dad, right?
Yeah. Or,
But then
or, or,
again, my
or,
kids' feelings were not being provided for either
right.
because he wasn't there.
Or saying let's stay. I'm just going to stay in this. We've been together for a long time, and I really don't want to be myself. I don't really want to be lonely, so I'll just so you start looking past everything. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody, nobody's perfect, and we're not talking about expecting a perfect relationship or a perfect man,
Mm-mm, no.
because we're also not perfect women. But I'm talking about the things that are red flags, toxic, being taken advantage of, being disrespected, not being supported financially, not, your feelings never being validated, not, just so many things, like they're not willing to be what it is that you need. And not, I don't mean it like major big things. I mean simple things like, just making a phone call. How was your day, honey? Is
Mm-hmm.
there something that you need? And just simple things like a respectful, loving relationship, and I understand that, life happens and problems come into every relationship, and you're not expecting perfection, but you are expecting for the person that you're with in a relationship romantically, for them to at least say, "Are you okay? You want to talk
Yeah,
about anything?" But how many people
exactly.
are going to keep taking "you're dismissed, I don't want to hear about what you're saying," or "that's silly"? Just because something is not important to a man doesn't mean that it's not important as a woman.
Hey, realist.
Okay.
Exactly, and this is the thing. You said something about phone calls, and I remember something that in the beginning, right, in the first 5 years of that relationship or whatever, 3 years, your little phone calls like, "Hi, babe, how you doing?" Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. You
I
call three
miss
or four
you.
times in
I
my
miss
work. I
you, my
miss
little
you. Yeah, I love
snuggie.
you. And then you start noticing that when you call them, like 3 4 years into the marriage or relationship, is like, what is it? I'm busy right now. What do you want? Do you
Yeah.
need
What
something?
do you want?
Is there something wrong?
Why are you calling me?
Yeah, no, is there something wrong? No, I just wanted to say hi. Just wanted to say hi. Well, I'm busy. Can I call you back? Oh, let me call you back. Okay, bye. So that, oh, you were busy before, but all those things add up. And
Hmm.
there's ways to say the same thing, convey the same message, but there's different ways that you can say them without hurting. Because I think a lot of times we forget that when we start a relationship, we're so excited, we give it our all. And I think that once we feel that we got that person secured,
Oh, I
in
got
our
you.
in our mittens, we forget the reason why we fell in love with each
Mhm.
other. That we used to pay attention to all of our conversations, all of those plans we have, right? And
Yep.
we had. So for me, again, it was a gradual thing, but it was done way before it ended. I
Exactly.
mean, and I mean years before it ended,
Yeah.
Marley,
It's
because
been
that
a long time
dismissive,
coming.
yeah, that I'm at a hospital at 3 a.m. with one of my kiddos because he's having an asthma attack. And it's like, why are you making it a big deal? Hold on. Yeah, we're here already. Let the doctor check and that's it. And,
Mhm.
and, and you're scared because your child is having an asthma attack. You don't know what to do. And for somebody to tell you, yeah, but control yourself. I'm his mother. What do you
Yeah.
mean control yourself? What about honey? Don't worry. It's okay.
No,
We're
it's no,
here. It's
or even saying something like, "What can I do to make you feel
yes.
comfort? What can I do to make you feel safe?"
Yes.
Conversation like that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to acknowledge, hey, realist one. Um, um,
He's on strike. He got put on strike.
oh no.
Realist, what did you do?
Uh, Robert said, it's a lot of distractions to keep you engaged and away from a relationship. And it's a lot of people who will try to mess up your
Hmm.
relationship as well.
Oh,
It's
yes.
very important when we talk about a healthy relationship. I'm not talking about the toxic ones, I'm talking about a healthy relationship. Make sure if you're having issues in your relationship that you become woman enough to say, hey honey, we need to talk about this, and not like as soon as something happens they, oh, hey girl, oh, you know
Yeah,
what
you
he
run to your
did,
girlfriends.
yes child, he is no good. And I
Yeah.
get so sick of women who are like that. They're having, telling everybody, their parents, their siblings, their co-workers, but they haven't had that same conversation with their own man.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
exactly. You run to your girlfriends, and at work, don't we go through that a lot, Marlene? When they come to us, oh my
Mhm.
God, I can't believe he did this. And have you told them you don't like for him to, for him to
Mhm.
act like that or do that? No, but he should know how.
Oh,
I
he
don't know
should
what
know.
you.
Or this is the one that drives me crazy from other women. We've been together for a long time. He
Yeah.
should
Oh
he
my.
should know that.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
oh, so he's a mind reader. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
those are imperfect women. I wouldn't know a thing about that with perfection here. That's why I was like, when you say, we're not perfect, I was like, Miss
Yeah.
Marlene.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Besides Miss Nexie, who is the
Exactly.
unicorn.
Exactly. Yes, and the unicorn, and when my friends and family watch this, they trip. They're like, "Oh my God! Of course she will say that." It's just that they're like, oh, so we're not the only ones that hear about your perfection every day. There's
Yep.
another poor person that listens to that podcast.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
There's
Yep.
more people that go through that with. No, again, it's not that we're, putting it all because we make mistakes too,
Oh,
right?
of course.
We make mistakes too as women. We do all the time. But the topic today was because we saw a video about this topic, and we were kind of like going through, hey, our little mind saying, you know what, yes, this is what happened when I was done with this relationship, right? We're doing it
Mhm.
from our personal, hey, we got to do one for the man.
Yeah,
One minute,
that's gonna
that's our
be that's
next
gonna
one,
be
that's our
next.
next sip and chat.
Yeah, that's gonna be next week. Next week we're gonna talk about something when a man. Yeah. Hmm.
When men are, and again, it's not that for me, I come from a single dad type of family, right? My
Hmm.
father raised us. And my father was very good, maybe because he had three girls, at
Yeah.
hearing us, at looking at our faces and knowing our feelings. Even if he didn't like the topic about dresses and the colors that we wanted and we gotta wear, even if he didn't care, he was
Hmm.
so attentive to our needs and wants and desires. So for me, coming from a father like that, to have another man that, you know, wasn't in tune with his emotions, it was
Mhm.
very difficult. It was very, very hard, very, very difficult, because I had the ability to communicate with my father, right? This is what I don't like. This is what I'm feeling. My dad, sometimes I look, will say, "What's wrong?" "Oh, nothing's wrong." He's like, "Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I know there's something
You'll
wrong.
tell me
Yeah,
later.
you'll tell me
Okay.
later." If later didn't come, he'll come into my room and say, "Hey, what's going on, hon? Come on, talk to me. I'm your dad. If I can help you, I'll do it. And if just listening to you and that's gonna make you better, then let's do that."
Mhm.
And so I came from someone like that to come to someone that wasn't comfortable with this
Oh,
feeling type of topic. Or I mean, it's just get over it. Like it made him very uncomfortable, because I learned that he came from a household where he probably had 5 conversations in his lifetime with his father.
wow.
Yeah, with not a family that they will sit down together to eat their dinners, their lunches, their breakfast. No, the
Mm,
kids ate after the father and the mother ate. They ate alone. So he came from that type of
wow.
family, right? So I'm thinking, how can he be so in tune when he didn't have that feedback? Of course,
Mhm.
you can always get help. You can always get the help you need. And that's what I always told him, therapy. And he didn't believe in it. And to this day, he's like, "No, that's BS. I don't believe in that."
Yeah.
But
And
therapy is good for you. It
you
helps you
know,
in so many ways.
right, Miss Nexie. And I'm not saying like, oh, all men are terrible or anything like that, but I can say, and Miss Nexie can say as well, you know, coming everybody can improve with a little bit of therapy.
Hmm.
Everybody can improve with some therapy because you can go into therapy with one issue and you come out with like, oh, I didn't know, oh, I didn't know that was bothering me, or I didn't know that was a problem. So
You can go in
um
trying to fix your family and come back and saying, "The
that's
family's not the problem."
me.
Right,
That's me.
Marlene?
I went
Right,
in saying, hey,
Marlene?
help my siblings, and she's
Exactly.
like,
That's what I said.
how about
Not
you?
Miss Marlene, not Miss Marlene. No, no, no. She went there to fix her family, and I had no problem, because the fact that my mom left didn't bother me. I was okay. Look at me. Come on. Look at the sunshine. Look at this ray of sunshine. The whole sunshine. Come on.
Yeah.
It
You're
didn't
like,
affect me whatsoever that she left. He raised an eyebrow and looked at me like, "Did you just say I got to give you a lot of homework?" I was like,
yeah,
"What? I'm in school. I'm back. Oh, yeah, I'm in school." I'm like, "Oh, homework for school? Yeah, I get it. Would I get credit for this homework?" And he said, No, no, no. Listen, dear one, you're so messed
yeah,
up. This is not school credit. This is me credit for you.
yeah,
We need to talk. But again, therapy helps you, and I'm a very, I'm the cheerleader for that.
yeah,
Please get yourself some help, even if it's just talk therapy. That is so good, because these people are not biased. They're
mhm,
there to they're gonna see you for who you are. Your family sees you with love, and a lot of times they don't tell you where you're messing up because they love you.
yeah. They put up with you when you're toxic. Yeah. Uh-oh. Miss Nexie, are you there still? Hi, Jennifer. How are you? I don't know. Maybe Miss Nexie's phone is messing up. I don't know. Miss Nexie, are you muted? I don't know if she dropped down or what is this. But I definitely wanted to say I appreciate every single one of you all for tuning in for today's topic. And I appreciate every single one of you. And I want to say, to all the ladies, have enough courage. If you don't feel supported, listen to, first of all, have a conversation with your man. And if it's unhealthy, then do something about it. Have enough courage to do something about it. Have conversation. Be mature. Don't just complain and whine about it, and you can you can't do anything about it. But also, if we've come to the relationship and we find that we're being disrespected, abused in any sort of way, physically, emotionally, verbally, or not financially supported, and it turns into a relationship and you feel like you're with a child and not with a man. That's not balanced. So, I want to say that to the ladies. Respect yourself. And next week on the Sip and Chat, we're going to go and do a topic, not the same, but a little bit similar in talking about, a male point of view, maybe a little bit of something good put in there. So I want to say I appreciate every single one of you for being here. And let me look at the comments. Robert says, men don't normally go to therapy. We are taught to get over it. And I do get that, Robert. I do get that. It's all good, Miss Nexie, because I'm going to bring it to an end. I do appreciate you, my wonderful co host. And I want to say, this is not a male bashing thing, just an honest and open conversation about toxic men. I don't mean the good men. I always have to say, I appreciate a good man, the hardworking good men, because there are good men that is out there. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie. I appreciate you so much. I wish I could put it on the screen, but thank you, Miss Nexie, so much for your support. Shout out to everybody who came through today. To all of you ladies, if you feel unsafe, if you feel taken advantage of, if you feel disrespected, if you're being cheated on, manipulated, and not respected, please have the courage to leave. You don't have to be a doormat. You don't have to stick around to please your family. Please don't just stay around just for the kids. If your relationship can't be helped and you're in a relationship with somebody and all they are thinking about is themselves, they're not thinking about you. They don't want to put anything in the relationship. They're always cheating on you. And especially if a man is putting his hands on you, that's a big no no. All red flags. All red flags. Do not stick around. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's Sip Chat. Shout out to my wonderful co host, Miss Nexie. I truly appreciate you. Thank you to all my amazing mods. Yes, Robert, especially if the kids are grown. Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Jackie, Miss Kristen, to everybody who's in the chat. I always am going to say, if there's somebody you see in the chat and they're a content creator, please go ahead, check out their channels. Yes, realists. Yes. No woman or man should be abused. It goes on both sides. I don't do the bias thing. I don't do the one sided and saying, oh, it's always women, and men are bad. No, it's not that over here. We're balanced. We trauma heal. We talk about how we can love ourselves, because this is Love Marlene 411, and this is all about trauma healing, talking about important topics, healthy relationships, being your best, how we can love ourselves better as ladies and as gentlemen. And I appreciate every single one of you. Keep working on you, keep loving you until the next Sip and Chat. I appreciate every single one of you. Love yourself, know yourself, and respect yourself. I'm Love Marlene of Love Marlene 411, your content creator for podcasts such as the Sip and Chat with my awesome co-host Miss Nexie. Also, my amazing moderators. You want to join channel membership? Starts at 99 cents. You know, there's always Cash App. Any other ways to support my channel? I also have Buy Me a Coffee. So you're welcome to support how you want to support. Thank you guys so much. Everybody have a great rest of your day. And ladies, heal yourself, respect yourself, and know your worth. And same goes out to the gentleman. Know yourself, love yourself, and respect yourself. I'll see you guys back next week, Thursday, on the next Sip and Chat. Bye, everybody.